Hi everyone, I'm Nicholas Tutora. Welcome to Tutora Time. Tyler Perry received a humanitarian award last night at the Oscars, and in his speech, he asked that we all refuse hate. You know, it sounds like a simple message, but in today's day and age, it's really radical, and I'm glad that he spoke up, and it's about time people start speaking out against the hate that's going on in our society. Perry said that he refuses to hate anybody because they're black or white or a police officer.
Don't hate anybody. I refuse to hate someone because they are Mexican or because they are black or white or LGBTQ. I refuse to hate someone because they are a police officer. I refuse to hate someone because they are Asian. I would hope that we would refuse hate.
His speech was needed, but it also reveals how far back the hands of time have been turned when it comes to race relations and just general enlightened thinking in the country. There are many on the left who are actually criticizing Tyler Perry for his statement of refusing hate. And why? Because they traffic in hate. Hate is their main product. As a matter of fact, that's all they spend their time trying to get everybody to do. The political machine on the left, all they're trying to do is to stoke anti-white hate, going around spewing out terms like white privilege and white supremacy and inherent bias. All these things are just meant to target white people and to call them racist in some way. There's a big popular chain of thought, critical race theory, that says all white people are racist, even if they don't know about it. Well, Perry really put his finger on it by saying he refuses to hate anybody just because they're white or just because they're a police officer. The attacks that the police officers have been under always, but really it's been revved up recently, is so appalling. Police put their lives on the line every single day, and they walk into situations that nobody would want to walk into. And they are helping people of every race and every color. But yet the left keeps spewing hate towards them. And why? Perry hit the nail on the head last night when he said algorithms.
And in this time, and with all of the internet and social media and algorithms and everything that wants us to think a certain way, the 24-hour news cycle, it is my hope that all of us would teach our kids, and not only to remember, just refuse hate.
24-hour internet and algorithms push a hateful narrative. That's what gets people to click. Stories about hate and division are the stories that attract the most viewers. It's really a sad commentary. There's a popular podcast host, Jesse Lee Peterson, who happens to be black, and Jesse Lee talks a lot about how there is no such thing as racism, and that racism is really just a form of hate.
You want me to prove to you that racism doesn't exist? Satan can lie to you in that anger and tell you, oh, they're just hating you because you're black. But that's a lie. That's not true.
Well, you're coming from the standpoint that evil is a spirit that comes through you and causes you to hate people for whatever reason.
Yes.
That's the devil telling you. But what I'm saying
yes.
is the devil
is that
coming
true
through
or not?
you. That's true.
Why not call it what it is so that you can overcome it? If he tell you that, oh, it's racism, you're never going to overcome racism. But if you can see it's a lie, it's evil, that he's deceiving you, and you know that it's evil, you can overcome that. When we call it racism, we're going along with the lie. But when we call it evil, we're not going along with the lie. We can overcome evil.
So calling on people to stop the hate is what we really need to be doing. When you tell people to stop hating, that will automatically stop the race baiting of the left. The left is going to have a very difficult time now. I believe the cancel culture of the left is coming to an end very soon because hate really can't sustain itself that long. I think people are already growing tired of everybody race baiting and everybody calling people of certain groups haters or racist or whatever it may be. One thing Perry left out in his speech was not hating people because they were Trump supporters. And that's really where all the hate in modern media started to flourish. When Donald Trump was elected, the left went crazy, calling him every name in the book, calling him racist, fascist, sexist, although there was absolutely no evidence of any of that. But it doesn't matter because the narrative is what sells. It's clickbait, just like Perry said. This hate, this race baiting of the left is driving the country off a cliff. It's time for us to go back to the basics. Love your neighbor as yourself. Judge people the way you want to be judged. Judge people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Although Perry's speech was good for the ears, it was also sad that in 2021, he has to be standing up there giving that speech. It almost sounded like it was back in the 1960s. And this whole nonsense that the left pushes about new Jim Crow laws, it's completely false. Young people don't even know what Jim Crow actually means. And the Georgia voting bill was in no way a Jim Crow law. It expands voting access. It expands polling location. It expands polling hours. But because the haters on the left just like to whip up the racial narrative to serve their political purposes, they just went ahead and did it. And facts don't matter. The Academy Awards last night overall was pretty sad. It was a hollowed out version of the grandeur that the Academy Awards traditionally is. And a very funny part of it is, though the left preaches they want fairness to everybody, they had to clean out the homeless encampments from in front of the building where the Academy Awards was being held.
Christine, this is not the first time Los Angeles has been accused of trying to sweep its problems under the rug. They've actually already done that. They erected a fence around Union Station because on Sunday, high-profile celebrities will be attending the 93rd Academy Awards. But the issue right now is the displacement of the homeless community.
They were harassing us, coming 3 or 4 times a day saying, with posters saying we had to move, you got to move, you got to move, you got to move, you got to move. So we didn't have a choice. They came to us about a week ago and said that we had to move by Friday, today, 6 p.m. because they were trying to clean it up for the Oscars. And they told us that if we didn't move, they were going to just demolish our stuff. If you have warrants, to take you to jail.
So, of course, they want everybody to be fair and they want everybody to be treated equally, except for when it's time for them to get their awards, then sweep everybody away, disinfect it, and let us come in and give our speeches. Acting is a window to the soul. It's the story of humanity. And if you're limited in what you can say, and if the story is predetermined that certain people have to be villains and certain people have to be heroes and certain people have to be hated and certain people not, then there's not really art anymore. You're not really telling artistic stories. The artist needs to be free to tell whatever story needs to be told, however they need to tell it. It's up to the audience to decide whether they want it or not. The Oscars last night had 9 million viewers, down 58% from last year, and last year was the lowest in history. The Oscars used to have hundreds of millions of viewers. Last night, they got 9 million. One of the things that's happened in this great reset is art has been decimated. So I congratulate you, Tyler Perry, on your award, and I congratulate you asking people to refuse hate. And I ask you to refuse hate also. I started a Facebook page called Coalition Against Racial Division, CARD for short. Go there, leave some messages about how you want an end to the racial division in this country, because the movement of unity among all people is what needs to grow, and it needs to grow fast. We need to put an end to the race baiting and the race hatred that is fueling the left-wing socialist agenda. And by the way, they don't care what race you are. They only use it as a means to gain power, to divide so they can be in control. I'm Nicholas Tutora, and I'll talk to you again soon on Tutora Time.